Or maybe they completely quit because of a bad experience with the community. But this is rare, as most people that put themselves out there are doing so because they're helpful and kind people. Social gaming creates a desire for friendly competition as opposed to competition that creates negative stigma in gamers. The mobile gaming revolution, Facebook apps, and advancements in online capabilities paved the way for new social integrated integrations utilizing gifting, friend bonuses, closed raids, and quests that required invites to complete. Through this, these studios were able to increase acquisition through word of mouth, retention through the bond of friendship, and sales through peer pressure, for lack of a better term. And while this was highly beneficial for the studios, the friend aspect enhanced the entertainment value of the game to the gamer. Guilds further enhance the game by creating a means of support, whether through information, asset access, structured and strategic group quests, raids, PvP. Guilds offer an acceleration factor that no solo entity can possibly achieve, no matter the size of your wallet. Even if you can buy all the best items, you still can't solo a raid. Even if you're the best first person shooter, you still have a great disadvantage against a team of coordinated gamers. Guilds become essential in MMOs and any game where raiding or group tournaments were involved, and they really create a second home or second family for many people that may find it easier to associate with a life online. I do remember a time when IRL or in real life was a regular phrase that I saw, but I also always wondered if life was any less real, even though you were conveying it through the internet. My experiences always felt real to me. I don't see that phrase so much anymore, but maybe I'm just not looking in the right places. Probably the most important piece of this entire Dudecast is guilds drive sales. Revenue and retention for the game are not just important for the salaries and bonuses to the employees and investors, but revenue generation and retention are vital for the gamer as well. To get your maximum value out of a game, you must always need people to play against. Even games with pure solo play rely on competition in some way. Competition begets active in game economies, and because of NFTs, even more active out of game economies. The whole point of this Web3 conversion was to add asset ownership to the person playing or working through the game. Games do not last long without both new and returning players. Marketing is expensive, and it requires a terribly large amount of marketing to make games survive the onslaught of titles that come out every year. Brand name franchises make games last for years. Esports makes games last for years. Esports can be said to be a massive link between playing for entertainment and playing for profession or win to earn. Esports players belong to a support network and may go by whatever they want, but they belong to a guild of the sort that is sponsored to pay for marketing and on and on. Guilds add value to games, which should proportionately be rewarded to you, the gamer, or you, the investor, in some way, shape, or form. Studios are companies, after all, that need to sustain themselves in the industry and grow accordingly. Without top guilds, you could even throw corporate entities in here, driving the competitive edge and pushing markets. A game will die sooner or later. I blathered on at length about things we probably all know, but there was a time when guilds weren't a thing inherent in games, and we've come to a time where guilds are formed even for single player games that don't have group elements. I should know, I started one. So, how do you know if a guild is right for you? Are you indebted to your guild? And how do you run a guild to excellence? Just like you have different levels of gamers from casual to mid-core to hardcore, you will find these same types of guilds in games, and they are all necessary. You will find many of the casual guilds fitting into two categories: ones that are run in that realm intentionally because the leader wants a small, tight knit group that is easily manageable and has a well controlled atmosphere, or the other are the countless struggling guilds because they're revolving doors due to low activity, toxic atmosphere, bad leadership, inability to market themselves, lack of experience, or newness into guild leading. For the former, these can often be very satisfying guilds to be in because you have a great small community of friends that has a similar agenda, isn't concerned with the progression, and has a positive vibe because bad actors have a hard time getting in and will easily be removed. For the latter, and certainly many of you have been in one of these such guilds, it can be frustrating to join a guild that makes promises that can't be kept, offers misleading information, or has those nefarious characters that make for miserable experiences. This is the first reason that I will say that you are not indebted to a guild, and you should never feel like leaving a guild is a bad thing. You need to always remember that you are playing a game for entertainment. You aren't playing to make someone else's experience better. I've had issues in the past when getting into a game and finding what I thought was a good mid-tier guild, as I didn't have the account requirements to join a top guild or the knowledge to start my own, and I feel an obligation to help carry the guild higher when I outgrow them, but this is not the way. You're only disrupting your own progress and your own satisfaction with the game. It can lead to not wanting to play a game or look for ways to make yourselves look worse so that it's not a big deal when you do leave. Don't do that. No one can hold anything against you. This is a game. It's not a child that you gave birth to that you're walking away from. Leave guilds that don't enhance your game. If you're solely in a guild to get whatever you can out of them without giving anything back, your support or experience, then you are a leech and you should be kicked out. But that is up to the people running the guild, and I can't speak for their inactions. I know everyone plays for different reasons. Some people just want to be left in peace, and I'm not trying to take that away from them. I don't care for complaints of lack of fairness due to pay to win factors. It's necessary for the game to survive long term. It's necessary for the studio to keep the game advancing and innovative. I'm not going to be upset when you beat me because you had a better support network that I can't compete with. Play for you, but realize that a guild will take you farther. So, what does it take to run a great guild? Number one for me is atmosphere. Doesn't matter how many people are in it, what caliber they are, or what they've achieved. The best guilds have an atmosphere where everyone participates because they're happy to do it. If anyone is negative in your guild, kick them out. You will not progress well with negative, selfish attitudes. You may achieve short term success, but the guilds that reach the top do it because of passion, support, and communication. Communication is really necessary more than ever, which is ironic to me because it's easier to communicate more than ever. I remember the good old days of TeamSpeak and Vent, even Yahoo Chat for Diablo 2 and the oldies. If your guild is failing to communicate to the members or having members failing to communicate with the guild, it will not last. So if you're leading a guild, it's absolutely imperative to maintain that atmosphere that you want and never deviate from it. It's only a headache as long as you allow it to be. Next, what type of guild do you want to lead? Are you wanting to be an esports gamers or that are in it to win tournaments for cash? You may want to proactively investigate what it takes to run an esports business because there are a lot of them out there with very large pools of players these days. The requirements to run an elite guild require elite hours. I can easily say that I spent around 8 hours a day maintaining my top performing guilds for at least a decade or more, and there were tournaments or raids that required many more hours on top of that. It's important to be real with yourself about how much time you can actually devote to playing, because leading by example is very important, and balancing that with maintaining a relationship with all of your guild members and investing your time into them. Certainly at the top level, most of the gamers that you would have in the top tier guild will be meeting all the necessary demands of top tier gaming on their own. But you still have to be the one dispensing information, so you also need to be paying attention to all the metas, the theory crafting, the updates. Of course, you'd have other people in your guild assisting with data collection and announcements, but you are still the figurehead. You're saying that people are there because of you. So really try to think first about what you can achieve in game and expect it to be more than a full-time job. If this is for you, then sharpen your communication skills and set the atmosphere of your guild by going above and beyond to know your guild members. No one wants to feel like a number. I often spent hours talking to my members about strategies for improvement or analyzing the needs of the guild and making sure we were spending our energies in the correct manner. I also talked to them about what they were doing from day to day. It's important to know people inside the game and outside the game. It will tell you a lot. I love playful banter between top guilds. It can be some of the most entertaining conversations, and I typically find most guilds being very friendly to each other and even helping out with strategies. So, as a good leader, you should be willing to publicly represent your guild and set the standard for how everyone else represents the guild. Social atmosphere goes beyond your members and into how you are recognized by others. Some guilds have braggers and trolls that prevent other top players from joining them. You can talk smack without being disrespectful. Games are about fun, not about being a dick. I do believe that the studio has a job to maintain conduct on an official communication platform, but they shouldn't have to employ babysitters. People will feel salty for this or that, but it's the engagement with them that really makes or breaks a social mentality. So lead by example. Another critical aspect of running a guild is maintaining the guidelines for activity and progress. If your guild doesn't advance as one unit, then it won't advance at all. Don't allow people to break the rules, or it sets a negative standard for the group as a whole. Some more casual guilds may have longer inactivity periods, but the standard is still the same. You have to know the game, know your members, and set the tone. Miscommunication and wasting of time doesn't make for long term gamers. If you care about the game, you should care about the gamers too. What other roles in a guild can you play? Tons. No one starts at the top. Some of the people that I value the most are the data finders and the theory crafters. Every guild has a few people that really go above and beyond out of personal passion. Not everyone has to be this to be into a top guild or a top game at the top of the game, but there are a lot of people that really want to play as long as it takes to maintain a. Sorry, there are a lot of people that only want to play as long as it takes to maintain a great position and to each their own. I certainly don't have the time these days to maintain a higher position in a guild, but I want to still have the fun competition that top gaming is all about. Guilds need officers, streamers, community managers, organizational leads, theory crafters, content creators, and really a whole bunch of other specific fits um, per game or for the type of guild that it is. Guilds often play multiple games together now, and all I can say is that you get out of it what you put into it. Why do you owe anything to your guild? Because being lazy or not communicating does affect other people's experiences as well. If you're not contributing in some way, shape, or form, then you're taking away from their experiences. Choose to play however you want on your own accord, but when you're not participating in group activities, it's not acceptable to not do your part. You'd be amazed at what commitment and participation can do to change the success rate of your guild's progress. Guild leaders and other admin often spend hours of their time helping everyone succeed. So, respectfully, don't be an asshat and waste time that they put in because it is valuable. You are now entering a realm of many games rewarding success as a means for people to make extra money or pay the bills and get ahead financially. So, your actions as a teammate affect the team and therefore the progress of others. You should be kind enough to join a guild where you can meet their expectations. As I said earlier, you don't owe any loyalty to a guild, just like you don't have to stay working at a job if you're miserable. If you work hard enough or can qualify for something much better that will springboard your growth, then move. Strong guilds make it through all types of changes over time, so it may take a few guilds to find your best fit. But you're maximizing your enjoyment and possibly earnings by being honest about your capabilities and also your needs out of a guild. It's certainly a two-way street. What you put into it, you will get out of it. Can anyone run an esports guild? No. This is another thing that guild leaders need to be honest about. 14 hours a day doesn't equate to you being the best at the game, the leading knowledge authority, or the best manager. Competition is fierce out there, and you'd be competing with businesses with large payrolls. Personally, I'd rather join a proven guild until I knew I had the contacts and resources to pull off a successful one of my own. But if you truly know you're of the highest caliber, then go for it. You'll learn a lot along the way. To sum it all up, guilds provide additional revenue to games and gamers alike through social bond, competitive growth, and retention. Be real about what you offer in terms of running a guild or being a member of a guild. Don't have unrealistic expectations about either aspect. Sometimes a game isn't for you because of the time commitments to progress. Some games don't require much game time per day at all. Others require you to put in a full day working online to be remotely competitive, so know your role. Above all, good guilds create a strong network of friends and a second family whose support often goes beyond a raid or a PvP match. And if anyone wants to type in general, I apologize for having strep today, but it is what it is. I'm still here. I see more people showed up. Still nobody joined me on stage. But if there's any questions, feel free to type them out in general. I know quite a few of you have already pre-formed guilds for this Eperon game coming out. Yeah, I know. I know, Remy. Go over the chat that I missed while I was ranting on. I see nothing. I'm just about to start rambling. Yeah. Again, y'all can talk down in general, but if you guys have any points about previous guilds that maybe you were in or a bad experience, a good experience, feel free to post about those. I know I've had a million different kinds of experiences running guilds over the years. I think for scholars, it's really important that they really get the best information and have a good network of people. That way, they're not working against each other. If anybody would like to rep their Aperon guild, now's a good time to do it. Yeah, spirit of the guild is very important. That's why I put atmosphere as number one because I've been in some really great kind of like mid tier guilds that I really didn't want to leave just because it felt like such a great place to be that I wasn't so concerned that we weren't as progressed as others, you know. And again, you have to play a game for the reasons that you want to play a game for, not because your friend needs you, not because your friend won't have a healer, competent healer. Like you don't have to sacrifice your enjoyment for your guild or your friends or anybody. I've been in too many situations where people weren't real with themselves about how much time they had or why they were there. And I think that's really important, especially again, going back to that whole Web3 thing about people are now earning a paycheck because of this. Um, so it's really shitty when you don't show up and uh, and you're detracting from the quality of their ability to earn a paycheck. That's just me and a lot of other people, I'm sure. Gonna have to yell at Shadow for leaving me up here today. No good guild experiences to talk about in general chat today. I might just end this one early. Go take some medicine. What are some other things you guys look for in a guild? What makes you stay in a guild besides atmosphere and knowing your role? Anyone? Crickets. All right. Well, guys, it's been fun. Uh, the next one is going to be less game related and a little more personal wellness related as I go off on long tangents and things about health and wellness. But thanks to the last couple of people that just straggled in here. It's been fun. Thank you for listening to me rant about guilds today, and I will catch y'all in the near future. Hang on, Super Mario wants to come up. What's up, Super Mario? What do you want to say? You raised your hand. No. All right. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. Happy 4th of July to those that are celebrating. And to the rest of you, I'll see you next week.